the story of that Russian hacker who was arrested in Prague. They say he's connected to the cyber attacks in America. Right now, though, Kathy Helbig is going to join us. Kathy Helbig, there's a new study out that says that millennials, first-time home buyers, are coming back to the market.
Absolutely. They're actually the largest pool of buyers out there right now.
For the longest time, they were like, we want to live in our parents' basement, right?
Or rent.
Some of them still do.
Yeah.
But no, they make up about 35% of the buying population right now. So that's something for sellers to keep in mind, because you do have to think about who is the audience for your home.
Right.
And then you need to prepare for that audience. So, for example, the millennials, they're very short on cash. They don't have big down payments. They've got higher student loans than most people. They might be saving in their parents' basement. They might not. But what's important to them is long-term maintenance, affordability. So they're still going to bargain price a little bit. They're going to want to buy the homes that already have done some of the repairs. The last thing they want is to get into something and the furnace goes out.
Right.
It needs a new roof, that type of thing. And what I tell people all the time when I sit down with sellers is we sit down and talk about what needs to be done ahead of time before they put it on the market and what can be done after. Well, when you're in that price point where you're a millennial's house,
Right.
then you got to think about they're probably going to write in closing costs, because you can always roll closing costs into your loan, but you can't roll your down payment in. So they're going to already have that going. They're not going to be able to, they're probably going to be doing an FHA loan, good chance. FHA loan has certain requirements that there's so much life left on a roof, that type of thing. So if you're thinking, well, I'll offer a credit once we get into negotiations, that's not going to work because they won't be able to get their loan. So it's really important to match your home to who your buyer demographic is so that they can actually buy it.
Also, with these home buyers coming in for the first time, right, there's probably a pretty pent-up demand, but it also helps people all the way down the line, right? If you're selling the luxury house,
Right.
there are all these move-up buyers that can't move
Right.
up unless somebody buys their first
And
home.
that's where Generation X is coming in. They're the next largest pool of buyers. So they're selling that first-time buyer's home. They're moving into something larger. And what's important to them is they're going to stay a little bit longer than the millennial is. That's why the millennial is looking for a little bit more of a bargain, too, because they're thinking they're not long-term there. That's their first stop. And then they're going to get a decent job, and then they're
Right.
going to move up in housing. That Gen X buyer is looking really at growth into the home. So is it an open floor plan? Does it have enough bedrooms? Is the basement finished? What's the location as far as schools and churches and that type of thing? Because it's very family oriented usually. So that's a whole different type of buyer. You've got to really think about making your house not look like you're growing out of it, or that Gen X buyer is not going to want to move into it because they feel it's going to be too short term for them.
Right. All right, what else you got?
Last one is the baby boomers. So the baby boomers have all the cash.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're buying cash. Sometimes they're moving in from other areas. So some relocation can actually be baby boomers. And the big thing about baby boomers is they buy year round because they don't have to worry about schools.
Right.
Going back to the Gen X too, one big thing to really play up when you're marketing a Gen X type home is the lifestyle. So talking more about what goes on in the community, what is the neighboring things. With baby boomers, it's really about usually downsizing and being able to be closer to shopping and restaurants and things like that. But
Right.
but definitely they're not rolling in closing costs. I don't think the maintenance things scare them as much, but they're not really wanting a lot of land either. Usually they don't want to have to take care
Right.
of that thing. So it's really about that type of maintenance more than interior maintenance.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's some insight you don't normally get. Kathy Helbig Group, she, of course, is with us every Thursday. More information, 314-276-SOLD. You can listen to her every single time, or just call her, and she'll give you all this information and so much more. Kathy Helbig, thanks for coming
Thanks,
in.
guys.
740